Hello, it's day 8 of the Python VLOGMAS series, and I'm so excited, so pumped up to bring you today's episode. And in today's section, we'll be looking at how to make use of the mapping function along with our self-generated functions. Okay, so let's start off by first creating our own function. Well, let me import NumPy first because I would need it. All right, now let's say we have a function that takes in just two dummy arguments and makes just a simple comparison. All right, so it makes just a simple comparison between the two data sets. If one is greater than the other, it should perform a particular action. If the other is rather greater, then something else should be performed. If they are equal, then something else should be performed. All right, so we define our function, let's call this exp, right? Maybe just an experiment, or let's even name it experiment. All right, and then we define our two parameters, say x and y. And then we have our colon, which is by default the structure of a function. And then we come down to our if condition. So if x is greater than y, say, let's find an output method, and maybe output, we call that, or let's even call this result. The result is then, let's say x plus y. Else if, so if y is rather greater than x, then the result is, say y minus x. And then else, that's for all other criteria. Then our result is, say, x to the power y. All right. And then as a function, we have to return. So we return the result. Okay. Now I have this indentation under the if construct because the result in this case works as long as the first condition is met. If not, it moves to the next condition and then performs an action if that's satisfied. Or in the final case, that's if all other thing fails, then any other extra function should be should have this action executed. And then when we are done, we are returning our output as a result as a sub of the function block. So then it should be an indentation under the direct function. All right. Okay, so our function is set. We can run this out. And then let's define two random parameters. Say A is, we make use of our numpy, so np.random .randn. That's just random numbers with the negatives and positives inclusive. So let's say we generate 100 negative and positive random numbers, and then we do same for, say, B. All right. Okay, so we have A and its content, B and its content. All right. Okay, so let's try to find maybe the difference between A and B. Okay, so that's what we see. All right. Now we're going to create a mapping function. So just from the previous lecture, we saw that we should have a map, and then we pass in the function and then the iterable. So the function in this case is our experiment function. That's the function name. So experiment, and then our iterables. So these are two dummy arguments, so x and y. In this case, a and b. So let's say a, b. All right. And then in Python 3, if you want to create a new list out of the map function, then it means you have to keep this whole part in a list function. Let's pass this to a final output, say C. Okay, so our output variable is say C. Now, if I run this line, I get the function to work on all the individual elements. So what we've done in this case is to reduce the code structure by not using the for loop or the while loop. We're just making use of the map, and then it iterates through and easily computes. So we look at our C, we have at least the differences, and then not just the differences, but also the action that's performed. As long as the difference tallies with any of the conditions that are specified. Okay, so let's say we pick A0, B0, and then C0, so we can see what happened in there. Okay, oh, sorry. Let's say we have A0, and then we have B0, and then we have C0. Okay, so A is definitely less than B, so that's like X is less than Y. So that means the second criteria is what's met, because Y is greater than X. So it means our result will be Y minus X. So we have B0 minus A0. That leaves us with 1.1326 as the C. Okay. Let's check for maybe some other, say A10 and then B10. Yeah, all right. So in this case, X is definitely greater than Y. That's A is greater than B based on the order that we used. So if X is greater than Y, means our result will be X plus Y. So let's see what the C10 is. All right. And so we can now have A10 plus B10 to confirm. That gives us this because the action to execute is X plus Y when X is greater than Y. And that's how you make use of the mapping function with your own predefined function. Okay, so this is just a simplified form. As your research or your study case grows, it means you can modify this to suit and then easily make use of the map function to, skip out on all the, for loops and then the while loopings that you would have to do. All right. I believe you had an amazing time learning. And if you have any question, if there's something that's not too clear, just leave it in the comment section and then the team would address it. I believe you have an amazing time. I wish you a very great day ahead. Just keep on practicing and be better in the Python programming language. And like we always say, it's always bigger at the top to sustain everybody. So let's all push and get bigger and get better with our Python programming language. Okay, if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe and then turn on the post notification so you are notified whenever there's a new item. And then also like and then do share. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.